we didn't get nearly as much battle porn as I was expecting. Real quick, $15 gift card to Amazon giveaway at the end of this video, so stay put to the end or just jump to the end. It doesn't matter. I'll also announce the winner from last video. This video is brought to you by the House Targaryen shirt and Ice and Fire shirt, which you know why. Link in the video description and comment section below. So let's just start off with Jon and Davos arriving at Dragonstone. Was anyone else disappointed we didn't get to see White Harbor? No? That was just me. Okay. The reunion between Jon and Tyrion was so cute. I had said I wanted a ton of these reunions this season, and they haven't disappointed me. And look, Jon smiled. It was super painful, but he did it. Also appreciated that Tyrion brought up Sansa, but super awkward saying it was unconsummated. Just don't share that kind of stuff with older brothers, Tyrion. Just don't. I also enjoyed Tyrion saying she's smarter than she lets on, and Jon replying, she's starting to let on. That is older brother exasperation right there. I also like someone questioning how Jon became King in the North since he was a Night's Watch member. Kinda something I expect more people to bring up and possibly use against him in the future. Cough, Cersei. Oh, and look at that timing when Jon says, "I'm not a Stark," and then a dragon flies overhead. How subtle. Almost as subtle as this scene.
Targaryen, alone in the world. It's a terrible thing.
Or this scene.
I am the last Targaryen, Jon Snow.
Oh, or when she said your father was best friends with Robert Baratheon. Holy shit, Davos is adorable. Dany gets her long title, and Jon just...
This is Jon Snow. He's King in the North.
Davos just needs so many hugs and to never die in this series. Ever. Also, did you notice the shade that Dany threw at House Stark? By saying Torrhen Stark was the last king in the North, she was basically saying that Robb was an illegitimate king in the North. So I'm glad Jon then threw it in her face that her father was a crazy asshole. Though he said his uncle was burned alive when he just strangled himself to death on that Tyroshi strangulation device, but oh well. Oh, and you could see when Dany asked Jon not to judge a daughter by the sins of the father, that hit close to home for Jon. Judged for being a bastard, something he had no control over. He wishes people would have done the same for him. If I was Dany, despite having dragons, I really wouldn't believe Jon right away either. Dragons had only been dead for a short amount of time by the time Dany brought them back. The others hadn't been seen in a really long time, to the point where people just thought they were basically fairy tales. So of course this is going to lead Jon to trying to get proof to show to her, yes, they do exist, which means he'll go beyond the wall, he'll get a white. We saw in the trailer them beyond the wall with Tormund and all them, so that's why that's going to happen. And I still strongly believe that if Dany sees that they do exist and she says, okay, I will stop fighting Cersei, I will help you defeat the others, that Jon will bend the knee as a condition of that. Oh, and I am really sorry, but holy shit, you could cut that sexual tension between Jon and Daenerys with a knife. They're gonna bone. This is romance 101 in shows. The two that hate each other and are super stubborn always have sex later, and Bran is somehow going to see it and be cringing the entire time. I am so pissed I didn't get to see Melisandre and Davos kinda duke it out at Dragonstone. I guess now she's going to Essos, and maybe we'll see her in season 8 when she comes back to do something dramatic to fight the others and dies doing it, or maybe we never see her again and she comes back to Westeros 100 years from now and then dies. I don't know. I really wanted to see Davos choke a bitch. Not sure why Melisandre saying Varys will die in Westeros is so scary. He lives there. But I guess if someone said they saw where I died, I might be creeped out too. Alright, let's move on to Euron in King's Landing with Yara, Ilaria, and Tien. I give a huge nod to that super enthusiastic guy in the crowd. He was really into it, and I give him props for loving what he does. I just can't see Cersei marrying Euron at this point. She is clearly playing him, saying, hey, I'll give you what you want after the war's won. Once the war is won, it won't be won by her, but she thinks it will be won by her. She'll then say, oh, hey, here, you can have a position on the small council. But Euron knows what she's doing. That's the thing. They're both crazy assholes, and they're both trying to backstab each other because Euron was going to backstab her regardless of anything she did. So it's like they're both competing to see who stabs the other in the back first, and it's kind of fun to watch, to be honest. I really like those two in scenes together. Euron was on fire this season and just not giving any fucks, asking Jaime how his sister likes sex. I don't know why I like Jaime being trolled so much. The scene between Ilaria, Tien, and Cersei was so powerful. Cersei's actress is amazing. You could see how much her daughter's death just destroyed her. I rarely feel bad for Cersei, but in that moment, I could see why she'd do anything for revenge. I know people already praise her quite a bit, but I just feel like she needs so much more acknowledgement for her acting. When she said, "Why did you take her from me?" that was just, oh, it was like a knife in the heart. I was a tad disappointed the mountain just didn't straight crush Tien's head in front of Ilaria, but returning the kiss of poison made for a better death. Now Ilaria gets to watch her daughter die in front of her, and then her corpse rot, and then bugs and rats eat her daughter's flesh, and then look at her skeleton. That was so fucked up, and I loved it. Though I think there's a theory going on right now that Bronn is going to come back to King's Landing and give her the antidote to the poison, just like she gave him an antidote to poison, even though she was the one to poison him in the first place. But I don't know if I want to see that, but that is a theory going on right now. But this whole "I'm killing your daughter for killing mine" plays into what book Ilaria said. When does the cycle of revenge stop? But oh man, does killing someone's daughter sure put me in the mood for giving blowjobs too, Cersei. My god. But I get it, it was a power rush. She had an adrenaline rush of finally punishing the person that killed her daughter. So of course then she wanted to go jump someone. But with her being okay with people seeing them in bed together, it kind of has me thinking that she is going to try to marry Jaime after she's done with the war and she has secured the Seven Kingdoms, which again she'll never do, but maybe this is what she's planning in her head. Or maybe she still plans on marrying someone else and just having Jaime as a fuckboy on the side. I mean, if she wanted to marry her brother, the Faith isn't around anymore to tell her no, and they were usually the ones that got up in a monarch's ass about doing things like that. Ugh, and we could tell by how he looked at her this scene, Jaime is way too deep in that crazy pussy. Also, notice the new style at King's Landing? Yeah. I don't like it. I am actually shocked that Cersei agreed to pay the Iron Bank back, but I don't think she's going to be able to. There's no way that Dany doesn't hear about the attack of Highgarden and doesn't get on her dragon, take her Dothraki, and just fuck Jaime up and his army on their way to King's Landing. So Cersei isn't going to be able to pay back the Iron Bank because that gold from Highgarden is never going to get to King's Landing. There was an odd line when Cersei talked about Dany messing up the slave trade and how that affected the Iron Bank. We know Braavos is a free city and doesn't tolerate slave trade. Therefore, the Iron Bank probably doesn't either, so this line made it sound like a few things are possible. One, they don't directly involve themselves in the slave trade, but of course the economy being messed up in one place in Essos will still affect the Iron Bank. They lend people all over Essos, so maybe they've lost some money in that regard. Two, maybe they're a bank and they just don't give a shit about what Braavos thinks. Or three, maybe he just answered Cersei's question innocently without admitting anything, just trying to get her to talk more. Though he was incorrect in saying Cersei was the first ruling queen of the Seven Kingdoms. Rhaenyra Targaryen was considered the half-year queen, and she arguably controlled more of the Seven Kingdoms than Cersei does right now. I also like that Cersei tries to say the Sept was an accident, but I feel like no one believes her, not even the small folk. Or maybe they do. Maybe that's why there hasn't been any riots. Jaime did make a good point. They'll cheer for you one day and spit on you the next, so maybe they were easily swayed. Now let's see what Euron does with Yara. I would imagine keeping her to lure out the rest of the Ironborn to his side, but she would make a good prisoner of war for the crown. But with Yara gone, there's no way the Ironborn follow Theon. They already didn't respect him before, but knowing he didn't try to save his sister moves him even lower in their eyes. Either they start reaving or they go to Euron's side, and honestly, I think they GTFO and just start reaving up and down the coast. As is Ironborn tradition. At Winterfell, notice Littlefinger's look to the Maester when he said Luwin kept a copy of every Raven scroll. I think there's something in Lewin's records that might fuck over Littlefinger, and Littlefinger is coming to that conclusion, or he already did. Then we got the most awkward Stark reunion to date, which it makes sense that Bran seems damaged. He just got a whole lot downloaded into his brain. He's becoming or is beyond human at this point, and seeing so many things at once, it has to be exhausting for him. His being awkward and weird, such as telling Sansa he saw her in her white wedding dress, helps from people like me going, why doesn't Bran just tell her everything? Him being damaged slows down the sharing of information. And we got our solution to everyone worrying that Bran being back at Winterfell meant that was going to upset Jon being king in the north. Well, it doesn't matter because Bran is never going to be the Lord of Winterfell. He's never going to be the Lord of any castle, really. He's a three-eyed raven. He has much bigger things to worry about and to do. At the Citadel, Jorah looks really good for having that much skin taken off. And we know Ebros gave him 24 hours to kill himself or be sent to Valyria, so all this happened in 24 hours? So there wasn't a long passage of time unless the Maester decided not to ship him out the next day. Maybe he saw Jorah getting better, or maybe that was just some miracle ointment. So I guess that explains why he can just hop right back into action and he'll head right back to Daenerys. Oh, but go back when they shake hands goodbye. Look at the emotion between the two men. Jorah owes Sam for his life, yes, but they were also sharing something else. Their love for Jorah's father. You could see it in both their eyes. That was just truly touching. Lastly, on the Citadel, if the show is being clever, which I hope the writers are, the Maester may actually be rewarding him by having Sam look through books and scrolls that deal with the others and the Long Night. Next, the taking of Casterly Rock was alright. It wasn't how I imagined Casterly Rock, but it was still a breathtaking castle from the outside. Anyone feel bad for the Lannister soldiers left there, though? They had to know they were left as a sacrifice, for appearance's sake, and they were going to die. I love that Tyrion's secret tunnel went right into a bedroom where he would just fuck whores. You go, Tyrion. You go. Lastly, Highgarden. I was disappointed we didn't see the battle, but I guess it wasn't needed. We saw all we needed to know. Lord Tarly is with the Crown now, the Crown has Highgarden for now, and the Queen of Thorns is dead. I mean, that was a brilliant plan, by the way. Tyrion wants to show that Cersei can't even hold on to her own home, but Cersei just showed that Dany can't even hold on to the homes of her allies. She also got a lot of wealth at Highgarden to pay the Iron Bank and food they desperately needed. It was a great move. Unfortunately, this also showed that Jaime is in so deep, he just can't see how evil she is. The ends justify the means to Jaime, and that sounds a lot like Season 1 Jaime, which has me worried that we're not getting character progression for him, or we're regressing so much, and that's kind of disappointing. Although we did see a twitch when Olenna says that it has gone beyond his control. Maybe he feels trapped, like he has nowhere to go. Love that the Queen of Thorns got in one last cut after her death was assured. I killed your son. Fuck you. Even in death, she whips people with her tongue. Alright, let's end on giveaways. Winner from last video where I asked you what surprising hookup was going to happen this season is Mimi GOT fan, whose answer was too disturbing to pass on. The Mountain and the Septa. Cersei's revenge backfires as the Septa finds out what she had been missing all those years at the Sept. Mimi, message me for your gift card. New giveaway for your chance to win a $15 gift card to Amazon. All you have to do is like this video and caption this photo in the comment section below. I'll pick the winner and announce it next review video. So thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, come back for more videos. I will be doing an Easter eggs video for episode 2 and episode 3 as well. I will be breaking down the preview for the next episode.